really does show how much we do rely so much on just a few small numbers of big technology companies. And when things go wrong, it can be catastrophic. And so it really does shine some light on the fact that we need to do more education on the update process. Maybe we got just a little bit easy with this, but so many companies can learn from this situation to do even more rigorous testing on those updates, which are so vital because these updates are really, really important for all computers to stay secure. But it's also about the balance with the speed in which they go out. So it's all about making sure that everything's okay before they do go out.
Jake, how possible is it on an update of this scale, is it to do that kind of testing required before sending out these updates? The other big issue here, of course, is the fact that these cybersecurity firms require quite high-level access and permissions into networks in order to deploy these kind of updates as well. So is there a requirement, perhaps, that that level of access also needs to change to prevent something like this again?
Well, this type of update does, like you say, need what's called the kernel level of access. That's the highest level of access into the system resources. So if you're able to get into that core operating system, it needs to have full access. That can be maliciously overlooked by cybercriminals and so on. So it needs to be in there and nice and secure and packaged nicely. But yes, if things go wrong, they can cause huge havoc. But like you say, it's about the speed. So we need to get these updates out there. It's vital that they're looked at, but it's very difficult to plan this in a safe environment at scale because you don't know really what's going to happen until it's out there. If you have mobile phones and personal computers, you're probably used to having these updates all the time and they're happening weekly, monthly, and so on. And if there's a mistake in some of them, you might get another one the next day. The fact is, like you say, it had such core access and it turned on this whole blue screen of death. That was the issue because now to get around the next fix, which is obviously now available, it needs manual processing. So people at the computer to make it all be fixed once again.
And Jake, when we look at what happened here, it was around an update that also had an impact on the Windows operating system, which is used so vastly across the world as well. I suspect this might not be the last time something like this happens. So when you look at the sort of global IT landscape at this point, where do you continue to see vulnerabilities? Is it the reliance on these cloud providers, single security software? Where are you seeing those vulnerabilities?
Yeah, so we do rely so much on Windows. It's obviously the number one operating system out there. But these huge companies need to be growing at scale. It's very difficult to say partition Windows and then other operating systems like Linux or Chrome in amongst their companies because then they don't always like talking to each other. So you've effectively got to stick with one of them and go with it. Now, I don't think we will see anything like this at scale again because so many lessons have been learned. I think, 8.5 million devices knocked offline in just a few hours. That's catastrophic. And I think we will learn from this. But maybe it's about staggering those processing the updates in the future. Maybe not to go out at speed immediately to all of those, just to see how it does test in small numbers at a time.